Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot. The comic spot. Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot.
Hi, I'm pulling myself together for you guys. Oh my gosh. I just had a conversation with my guest and it all typed in on top of her intro. So bear with me, I'm older. I'm not stupid, I'm older. So today, this is Comic Spot interview number 1001. Yay! Made it to 1,000 yesterday. And today I have a wonderful guest in the shadows waiting for me to get through with her intro. It's embarrassing for some people to sit there and hear me talk about them. So she's off camera and she'll come on to camera when I'm done blabbing about her. Yeah. But if you're at home watching these interviews, these were created just for you. So you could kick back and watch us talk as if we just met at Starbucks. And I said, "Oh, what do you do?" And she says, "I'm in entertainment." I go, "Wow, that's amazing. So am I. Tell me all about it." That's what this is. This is your chance to get to know today, in this hour, who is Kristine Knowlton, my guest. Do you like her? What's she like? How'd she grow up? What things is she into? What does she do when she's not performing in one way or another? You don't know. Sure, you could go read her intro, but why? When you can see it all and hear it all here and more, right? When you get done with hearing her answer questions and stuff like that, you're going to be motivated, to get up and get dressed, get off your couch, and follow her and find out where she's performing. Tell your friends who live at places where she's going to be performing. Yeah, you're going to help her career because you're going to love her. I guarantee it. Okay, so let me read the intro for Kristine Knowlton. Kristine Knowlton. Here we go. Kristine Knowlton is an international actor and comedian that hails from Atlantic City, New Jersey. She has performed at well over, get a load of this, she has performed at well over 250 venues across the country. She said from country to country, so I guess I shouldn't change that, from country to country. So we got to hear about that. She recently just got done performing in a theater show called And Chance. You know the and sign? And Chance. As the lead role of Chance at the Waterford Fringe Festival, the lead at the Waterford Fringe Festival. She's here today. Can you believe that? With rave reviews that she got, and will be back at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for 2023. Her character Chance will be performing in the upcoming show A Christmas Carnage Resurgence, December 17th, 18th, and 23rd. She has also just finished being part of an original show, Fezziwig's Christmas Party, as Isabel Fezziwig by local playwright Saba Pulela, and her first villainous role. Kristine currently voiced the character Harley Quinn in the Geeks Speaks special, Bat Romance. Also catch her as Mystica Rabbit of the animated series Waterside Wrestling, coming soon to Amazon Prime. Stay tuned for the animated movie Mac and Trouble by Rusty Gilligan. She first got her start voicing the character Density of Global Guardians along with her cousin John. I put on my glasses and tell the difference between Jan and John. Kristine also does voices for commercials, video games, films, and more. She enjoys doing improv and is currently a featured performer with South Sound Improv. She has performed with Dad's Garage in Atlanta, High Wire Improv, the Barracks Improv in New York City, the Reckless Comedy Improv in the United Kingdom, and Unity's Theater Troupe of Atlantic City. Yeah, that was the end of that sentence. Kristine also enjoys being a part of and writing sketch comedy. Man, this lady. Keep your eyes peeled for the Nativity as well as a courtroom skit by Kristine Knowlton and Kim Nash. Linda, okay, let me go back to that sentence. Keep your eyes peeled for the Nativity, as well as a courtroom skit by Kristine Knowlton and Kim Nash of the United Kingdom. Kristine also sings and will be a part of an upcoming villainous cabaret with Kim Nash. Can't wait for that. On New Year's Eve for 2 shows. Following Enchants and A Christmas Carnage Resurgence, which are jukebox musicals, Kim and Kristine decided to make a night out of their favorite songs from Bonnie and Clyde the musical and Juliet, Heathers, and much more. This lady has so many things that she has done and is doing, and I have false teeth that almost fit. I almost lost my teeth on some of this. You guys, welcome her right now to the stage, right here on Comic Spot. Hi, how are you doing, Kristine Knowlton?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. That was an amazing intro. I want to learn more about myself today too.
Yeah, you'll learn how not to do an intro by me. I mess up every intro. I've had people call me up. Listen, I'm not coming on your show. You mess up every intro. I'm like, welcome to my world. I have a brain injury. What do you expect? Come on, lighten up.
It's so much fun though. I always joke with everyone, even the cast that I'm part of. I'm like, that's it. We're all getting hooked on phonics for Christmas. And about the head injury, it's like I technically right now have a concussion.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what happened, Kristine?
Don't try to practice your stage bows at 4 o'clock in the morning and not step back far enough and hit the desk and go down.
Oh my gosh. I've only been in comedy 8.5 years, and I have fallen off stages 3 times, and they were all within 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I've literally fallen off of a stage.
I'm waiting. I've got to up the ante here. I guess I've been doing comedy for about 4 or 5 years, but I've done improv for over 20. And I've fallen off maybe a couple of stages, so I've got to play catch up here,
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I met you on Zoom through the pandemic, and you're hilariously funny. I would have never known that your comedy was less number of years than mine. Never would have known that. Thanks for sharing that. Let's talk about you. See, and I have a reason for having said that. People who are mastering improv come across far more achieved in their stand-up. So just for people out there thinking about doing stand-up and they don't necessarily see the advantage of improv, could you speak a little bit to what I'm just alluding to, how valuable improv is?
Yes, improv is wonderful. The only thing that I have with improv is I've developed no filter whatsoever. I mean, it's improv is like yes, and I mean, that's what you do with improv. It's as simple as that. There are no rules. You make them up as you go, make them up as the scene go. It's great. You can develop a whole bunch of characters. Maybe some stick. Maybe you're like, oh God, that was the worst choice I've ever made. Yeah. Believe me, there's been some clunkers. All right. It's not all, rainbows and marshmallows, as somebody once said. But it's great. You get out there and you get to work with other people. I think that's the most important thing, because it helps me, meeting new comedians and things like that. It makes it so that it's not awkward. Like, yeah, I'm a comedian too. I'm a comedian. Crickets, cricket.
Yes, it is awkward like that. But with improv people, it's not, right?
Yes, exactly. It's like you just jump into a scene with anyone. I've gone into groups where I've known nobody at all, and I've just had a blast with them. It's challenging, like doing it through Zoom, but it can be done. And I'm glad that I've gotten to be a part of quite a few things. Like right now, South Sound Improv. Let me just say, like one of our scenes last week got out of control. The director, Audra, she was hoping that someone would come in and like rectify the scene, like bring it down, but we escalated it so bad that she had to call cut on it. Like, let's just say it was during a game of Hitchhiker. I was playing a hitchhiker. The guy driving the car automatically assumed that I'm a prostitute. I'm like, so we're going down this road. And the other hitchhiker apparently was like my pimp chasing the car because I stole money. At one point, there was a pair of scissors brought onto the screen. There was a giant knife about this size. And then my chainsaw enters the screen. She's like, what is going on? She said, it's like, bring props. It's like, not weapons. It's like, well, you didn't specify. I'm like, and two of us are here in Jersey. I was like, one's in Detroit. So I'm like, but yeah, improv, it helps. Like, again, being a voiceover artist, it helps you develop characters as well. Like, I can break down into my Southern accent whenever I want to, because that's a perfectly developed character. In fact, one time doing improv, we call a hot seat, where people get to ask our character any questions that they want. And somebody said, my character's name is Jenny when I go Southern, and they were like, Jenny, if you had a bucket list, what would be on the top of your bucket list? And I was just like, well, you know what? Come to think about it, my bucket's got a hole in it. So I guess another bucket would be on top of my bucket list. Like, you don't have to think. That's the best thing. And there's no right or wrong, answers in improv. That's why I love it.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. I was at an improv show watching it, just trying to absorb what is improv. And they were asking the audience what they should do. Should they do this or that, this or that? And, like, I'm not a real question person, like I'm always afraid I'm going to give the wrong answer. So I usually have a smart remark.
Yes.
They were like, what should we do now? And I was like, improvise. How's that? Like, yeah. So I've tried improvising a few times. Have you heard of what Rick Overton does? It's called the set list.
Yes, I've heard about that. Yes. I think I've done something similar to that. The End of the World set list. I remember when Kurt Seablum hosted it. I can't remember who the other host was, but it's something similar like that. And I loved it. I loved having like random lines or random things thrown at me. Like, okay, how am I going to work this in?
I know. Tonight I'm going to be hosting this open mic for women, and I'm going to have the audience give me a word that they don't think an old lady knows. And then I'm going to fake it like I know what that means. I'm just going to improvise and go anywhere I think. It's going to be kind of like a set list for me. I can't wait to improvise a little.
Oh, that's good. That sounds so much fun. I've got to check. Is it online?
No, it's in
Oh.
person in Vegas. I'll videotape it if you want to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Definitely. It's like, I'm down for that. I love watching things too, because you can learn so many things. It's like, as we learned in life, it's like, you're going to need a bunch of teachers. Some teachers you're going to learn things from, other teachers, no.
Sometimes you learn what not to do, and I'd rather learn from somebody else's mistakes than my own.
That's true.
Not bad things, not bad thing. You can sometimes sit through an open mic and people will go, oh, this is horrible. No, it's not. Look for something good everybody's doing. Stay positive.
Exactly.
They have to be
Not
doing
all of it has to
something.
be.
Yeah, there has to be something good in everybody's set. Like one little thing, there has to be something. They're holding the mic right.
I know, they made it to the stage. Okay. And then you're wondering how that person gets dressed and ties their shoes in the morning. But on a positive note.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Kristine Knowlton growing up. I love knowing what you were like when you were in your formative years around your family, when you were 5, 6, and you started making funny remarks, or maybe you were shy. Who were you at home?
Okay, well, if we have to go back, when I was younger, my father put beer in my baby bottle because he thought it would be funny. So I am a Budweiser baby. I still like that beer over anything else in the world. And one day my parents noticed I had a problem because I toddled my way over to the fridge, opened it up, picked up a can, snapped off the top, and started to drink.
My gosh, that is improv.
So actually, no, that was real. That was real life. There was no improv, so they knew I had. It's great going to kindergarten, having your like 2 year clean chip with you. That's my show and tell. Like, I grew up. I'm an only child. I came from a family of 22.
What?
So I have a half brother, or two half brothers and a half sister. I've only met my half sister last year. She's quite a bit older than I am. And her mother, we didn't know each other growing up or anything like that. Like I said, it's like we just literally met last year. And her mother was one of the people that fostered children and everything. So at one point they had 20 some odd kids in like a 2-room house. And I'm like, so whenever I say that at comedy things, it's like, yes, I'm an only child in a family of 22.
Wow.
People are like, what? On my side, I grew up as an only child.
Yes.
But yeah, doing goofy stuff. I was raised with Mel Brooks movies, especially Blazing Saddles. And my dad one time taped the bean scene where they were farting. He put it onto a cassette tape. We took it where we would go tubing and everything. We would sit at a picnic table and he would push down on it and everyone around the table would, lean over to make it look like you farted. Well, one time at the exact moment I was sitting on the end and I lifted up. Some tubers were coming around the bed. I lift up. They hear the noise. They're laughing so hard that they tip their tubes.
Oh
So I was like, way to go, Mel Brooks. All right. Fan for life, fan.
Well,
And then another nice embarrassing moment going down childhood lane. When I was younger, I was very early potty trained. And one time I had, like all kids do, we pee ourselves from time to time. And my father had spanked me and put me in the corner and said, don't pee my pants. Okay, fine. Meanwhile, my mother was napping in the other room. Now, this was like a while later. She comes round. I was in the kitchen, I guess, right? And all of a sudden, she just sees me completely naked standing in a puddle because I didn't pee my pants. So even as a kid, I was a smart ass.
That's fabulous. What were you like in school, go through grade school and high school?
I want to say mostly quiet, which is weird for like a performer. Yeah, I did my first commercial, I guess at age 10.
What? What was it? What was the commercial?
It was for a company called Atlantic Electric, which is local around here, and actually on NJN, the channel around here, you can still see that commercial going up. It was for recycling. And not only that, but we were entered into a competition and we came in second place for best cleanup commercial in the whole United States, which was awesome. So we won like an award and everything. So I guess that was like my first like award winning thing.
Wow. How cool is that? Man, the Gerber baby has nothing on you.
It's like I was 10 at the time, but yeah, it was fun. It's like my 8th grade teacher actually got me into improv. I was in a very gifted reading class and we were like maybe 4 stories or 4 books ahead of everyone else. So we were all done our work for the semester. So she took us outside and she's like, we're going to do some improv. And the very first thing that I ever did was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I was playing Goldilocks. I was being put on trial for breaking and entering at the bear's home, which actually inspired other improv acts. I have a whole bunch of them. I call them nursery crimes. So it's like pretty much the character of the nursery rhyme is put on trial. Like, I mean, we all know, Rockabye Baby, who puts a baby up in the treetop. So obviously the mother's on trial for putting a baby into a treetop.
I love that. Where can I watch the nursery crimes?
Nowhere, because this was before cameras. I don't know. I'm going to put this out there. Let's play the guessing game really quickly, and then I will tell you the real truth. Linda, how old do you think I am?
I'm gonna go with 37. 37.
I love you. You're very close. I'm actually 44 going on 45.
Wow. Wow. What do most people say? Do they say a lot younger?
They do. Even off the camera, I look younger than I look.
Wow. Sorry, I went so high in a number.
No, it's all good. It's great. Actually, my last stage mother, when we had gotten together, little quick story here. It was for Fezziwig's Christmas party. She played Mrs. Fezziwig. I was her daughter, Isabel. And we got together once to go over stuff. And she asked, I asked her, how old do I look? And she's like, you can't be more than like 22. And I looked and I was like, double that. And she was like, what? She literally went, what the fuck? By the way, she's also a minister, so
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Not the
can't
first
believe I
time.
went so high with the number that I said. I don't know
it's
why
all
I did.
good. It's hard to tell sometimes on Zoom. It's
Yeah.
Zoom is great.
Yes. So your teacher exposed you to improv because your class was ahead of schedule, way ahead. And then, like, how else did, from that point forward, what happened inside of you to make you do performing?
Well, when I got to high school, I thought about the drama. It just wasn't for me then. But I did like the chorus. I got into the gifted and talented select choir. I don't know how, but I was kind of dragged into that. Well, I guess if we had to start at the beginning of that, okay, in gym class one day we were doing volleyball. We were practicing our overhand serves, and this girl, she beamed me in the head so hard, like my eyes like almost popped out, and I just fell right to the floor.
Wow.
And then I became like her freshman buddy or whatever. So, so it was great hanging out with all seniors and everything. It was really cool. She's like, she took a hit to the head and she still got back up and finished class. So then she was in choir and all that stuff, and she got me in there, and I'm like, I think I just went into class one day. I just ended up there. They just kept me, I guess. They're like, okay, it's an actual class, and you're a part of that. And it's like, okay, I'll do it. Which is great because that's where I learned a lot of like music theory and things like that. But before then, it's like I was singing with choirs. I guess, no, it was in middle school. And again, concussion. Middle school, I started singing in the choir, and then I started singing with the Stockton Oratorio Society, which is Stockton State College's choir. So I was actually singing like college choir. I was one of their youngest students ever.
Wow. My
And then
God.
I just kept it up all through high school and everything. And once in a blue moon, I go back and perform with them.
Wow. Now, are you a soprano or alto?
Soprano. I'm a
Oh,
soprano too, but I do soprano 1 to, I want to say at least tenor 1.
got it. Wow. So you're doing choir, you started improv, and you've done comedy. Take me through the trajectory of your life, how you got to where you are today, and I'll just listen.
Okay, well, if we want to go the musical stand route of how I got into that, that was basically choir and everything. But I was really inspired because when I was younger, I wasn't sheltered from any movies. So I loved the movies like 9 to 5, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and of course, Annie, which was my first movie that I ever saw in the theater. And coincidentally, there is an Annie story there, but I was so tiny growing up. I guess the beer stunted my growth for about 2 years. I couldn't sit on one of the seats because it would fold up on me. So I had to sit on my mom's lap. I was
Wow.
so tiny. And yeah, an awesome story about that is when I got to high school and stuff and was in the choir, and one of my solos was You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile. And if we fast forward to the last show that I just did, the girl that played Molly in that, Tony Ann Gisondi, I performed with her sister, Lisa Weck.
Lisa who?
Her last name, her married name is Weck. But it was so cool getting to perform with her. We were actually booked for a show before the pandemic that didn't happen, but I was like so excited. I was
Oh,
like, this is awesome. So it was kind of like a dream come true there.
that is so cool. So what else has happened along the way? What are some
Okay.
other stories you have?
Along the way, we're hiking. Let me get on the horse here. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't want to fall off the horse. Okay, I've got the arms down on the chair. We're good.
It's
Yeah,
rodeo week in Vegas. Sorry.
trekking down. It's like I started to do more theater things. I started going up. I started doing things a little bit with the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, and then I got into the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, and that's like all improv. Like basically, okay, there was some scripted stuff, but we never. Well, okay, we followed it sometimes. As I would say, it's like we had a script for that because there would be so many things. It's like, okay, we're just gonna run with it. We're just gonna. But so I learned a lot of things, and then I traveled around with the Yale Nottingham Players, which is an improv team, and their thing was they're pursuers and purveyors of prime public punishment. Say that 10 million times. But that was fun. I've usually played like only like ladies in waiting, but this time I got to play the daughter. My father owned the flour mill, so I literally had flour all over the Connecticut Renaissance Fair. Even the queen came up to me. She's like, "Can you get some on our thrones here for jousting?" And I'm like, "On the actual thrones?" She's like, "Yes."
Wow.
And I was like, "Is there anything bad going to happen to me?" She's like, "No." She's like, "No," because I've fallen into that trap before. You don't want to do that. You make village idiot cry, and it all goes downhill. And so it's like I love it. Like I said, we consider each other family, and it's great. I love my role at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair. I don't know if I'll be back there this year because I think we have a festival coming up that takes place at the exact same time, and I'm like, nope, no. But I
Exactly.
had
Don't you
fun.
hate that when two things happen at once and you have to pick?
Yes, it's like and the last, I guess last 4 or 5 years that I was in there, I played Lady Beulah Percy. I was the sister to the Duke of Northumberland. So that was so much fun. Sometimes people are like, "Miss Percy," and I'm like, "Oh my God, are we still on this kick? Are we still on it?" Although I did get into a writing challenge with Shakespeare, and it turned out people liked my stuff better than Shakespeare's.
I
I was like, "Whoops." But my friend that does play Shakespeare, it's like we go back and forth. Every other year is a love year for us, and every other year is like a hate year. It's like I love you so much, I hate you. I hate you.
you know how Shakespeare makes every time plus tragedy equals comedy? And
Mhm.
that's a Shakespeare thing. I think it would be funny to do some kind of play or something about Shakespeare on crack, where he takes stuff and makes it funny faster. Because like life is a bitch, and sometimes it takes 30 years for something to be funny. It's like, come on, Shakespeare, hurry up.
I know, it's like hurry up, Shakespeare, or you can just watch a writing session of Kim Nash and I. And we've
Yeah.
actually been referring to each other as Anne Hathaway and and William Shakespeare because one of our songs that we do is "I Want It That Way" from from the show and Juliet. And there's two parts of it. There's the first part and there's the reprise of it, and we both end up saying it's like "I want it that way."
Wow.
So it's like I actually have I don't have it on here right now, but I do have that sound. So every time we argue or we get stuck in a scene or something, I just play that. And he's like, "Oh my gosh." It's like, "Are we starting down that path?" Yes, we are. Yes.
What is something valuable that you've learned doing performing that is something you never thought you'd learn that you think is great to let other people know?
Oh, something valuable. Well, one thing, always be on time. That's like the first valuable. But of course, I'm an actor, so if you're 15 minutes early, that means you're technically late. So, but you
Wow.
want to make sure that you're there because it's like bookers have you there, and they want to make sure you're there. They want to make sure you don't say anything stupid. Like with my comedy, it's always okay. Most of the time, it's rated R. I faltered back a little bit, but my luck, I would go up there and start my opening. What's up, you sperm burping gutter sluts? And just have the audience be like, "Okay, not the place for that. We're gonna start that again. How's everyone doing?"
Exactly.
But yes, it's like be on time. It's like be respectful to your host. Don't go up there and say, "Oh, this is the worst show ever." It's like I can't believe the comedians that were booked. Like, don't do that. Like, don't mess with the venue either. Don't say it's like It's like I've been in some shady places, right? But I'm not gonna like be like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna get murdered in the back here."
No.
Like, yeah, it's like don't do that because then you won't get booked because it's like you're disrespecting. So it's like I guess respect. I mean, I've had it anyway. Like I don't know what happened between my age and some younger people,
Yes.
but the respect is there.
I don't understand why people get up at a venue and then they start making fun of the building, and it's just like it's not funny, and you're axing yourself out of an opportunity in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand how people think anything is funny and nobody can tell them what to say. Because like there are some things that are not appropriate. Like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so getting back to your life, you left off with what you were talking about, which the Shakespeare stuff with Kim and you and the writing. Take me further into your life up to today.
Okay, further and further. Lots of plays. I have a resume. People have seen that. I was like, there's probably about 5 or 6 other pages to that.
Wow.
It's like what's on my website. That's www.KristineKnowlton.com. You can actually see I have a comedy resume as well as an actor's resume. So there's
Wow.
2 there. I'm like, great, I've expanded. But yeah, it's like I've done a lot of shows. One of my favorite ones, I guess, was Songs from a New World by Jason Robert Brown. I did that out in Rehoboth Beach. That was definitely one of my favorites. I guess if we go that way, like I said, I've done a lot of Renaissance fairs in between and up through the pandemic. The last 2 shows that I got to be a part of was the Laramie Project and also Cafe Murder.
Wow.
So I was doing 2 at once. If you ever noticed a lot of my stuff, I've got 2 or more shows going on at the same time. And I loved it with Cafe Murder because I was the first one that was off book while I was already off book for the other show.
What's off book mean?
That means you've memorized the script. Like you've got your lines done and you're ready to go. And I mean, the Laramie Project was like, I had like pages of like monologues like that to go through. I think I played like 3 or 4 different characters.
What? Holy
It's a pretty
Toledo.
big show. And we did have 20 cast members and we all ended up doing, I want to say, anywhere between 2 to 4 roles in that. Because it's a
Jeez.
big play.
Wow. How long does that last?
That one, I believe that one lasted, I want to say, for 4 or 5 days that we performed. But we were in rehearsals for quite some time. And I
Wow.
loved the director because there was one of the tech rehearsals and it was on my birthday and I didn't want to show up. And she's like, I'll make you cupcakes. I guess I'll be there. I guess I'll
Oh
Sounds like
God.
cupcakes bribe works every time.
I just saw in the news yesterday how to eat a cupcake without getting frosting up your nose. Do you want to
I
hear
have
how they do it?
Yes, yes, yes.
So you take the cupcake and you slice it in the middle, and you take the top with the frosting off and turn it upside down, and you've got a sandwich. I never would have thought of that.
I've seen that before. I still prefer frosting up the nose. I don't know. Maybe it's a crack thing.
It could very well be. I know I'm addicted to cupcakes.
Oh, I love them. My cousin actually owns Foster Speakeasy Bakery. Our stuff is
Wow.
good. Buy it. Anyway, that's not an ad. but I help out like decorating and things like that. He's like, I need an artist. And I was like, don't look at me. He's like, now you're it. He's like, no one else will work with me. Just kidding. He's the one that we've done voiceover work together. And he's just so much fun. It's like we grew up together. We consider each other cousins, even though we're not blood related. But it's like, yes, we still keep in touch and everything. I love it. I love when we make cupcakes and everything. And I'm like, I'm gonna gain like 500 pounds, aren't I?
Talk to me about your voiceover work. You have extensive work in there.
Yes, that would come from, like I said, my cousin was in with Global Guardians. All right, first, we're both morons. First, we both thought the name Density was Destiny. 'Cause we're both dyslexic. We both got started on that. I think we found that through Stage 32, which is still a free app. You can actually find things on there and you can connect with all sorts of people. So if you're looking for filmmakers or script writers or things like that, I haven't checked it in a while because I'm just backed up on stuff. But yeah, that got me going. I think we did like maybe 4 or 5 episodes. Like they were like actually like an hour-long episodes, right? So it's like I know the guy that was doing that wanted to go more like 3D and things like that. So now it's taking longer to build up like all the 3D elements and everything, and then have the voiceovers come in. But we loved reading for that, but it was set in space, so there were some made up words, and we were just looking at each other. I'm like, you pronounce it first. I don't want to sound like an idiot. He's like, no, you pronounce it. I'm like, no. He's like, you're older. I'm like, I don't care. But yeah, it's like just doing that. That was so much fun. Just starting out in that, and then like as the years went by, it's like got some more things like Waterside Wrestling with doing Mystica Rabbit. That's a fun wrestling one. Like she's kind of tough. Like she's a tough rabbit. Like get over here. I might let you live long enough. Like I can't remember if that was one of my lines or not. But oh wait, no, that's one of the lines I did in Fezziwig's Christmas party. That didn't end well. Anyway, but she's like so tough. Like it's just so much fun. There was a couple more in between there. Like I've done like promos for a comic book called The Green Zone. Like I don't know if they're ever going to actually fully develop it into a cartoon, but I got to be like the original voice to one of their characters. And then the same people that did like Waterside Wrestling did the one Bat Romance where I actually got to play Harley Quinn. I was like, who doesn't want Harley Quinn on the resume?
Totally. Oh my
So I was like, I got to do that. Now that was a speaking one, but there actually technically weren't any words to it.
What did you do? Make sounds?
It was sounds, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is insane, but it's so much fun.
I bet. What were the couple sounds that you made?
Like I think the word was like la, so it would be like la la la, like blah blah blah. Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like it would have like all the emotions like happy, sad. I'm like, this is a challenge. I'm like,
You can convey a lot without being, auditory, strictly words. So that's kind of cool. It's a cool exercise too.
yes, yeah. And then for the people that did Waterside Wrestling, Boombitos is actually their company name. I forgot to put that in there because concussion. We're just saying, I'm just gonna blame everything on the concussion.
I do, and it happened in
right.
1996.
It works. So I was doing, Mystica Rabbit and my friend Rusty Gilligan. I don't know if you remember him when he was a kid. He was on like Little House on the Prairie. He did like a whole bunch of commercials, and then he ended up doing like artwork for I think Marvel and DC Comics. And it's like we actually hooked up because I do a lot of Comic-Cons. I'm a cosplayer, and I've gotten to be at many of the big ones, including I've been a guest at San Diego Comic-Con, which I think is fantastic. So I met up with him, and we're always like buddies at cons and everything. This was before the pandemic, obviously. I was like, he hasn't been back to any since. And I was like, it's a shame. It's like, I've only done a couple because of my schedule. But yeah, it's like, I got him into that. And then he has this awesome comic called Mac in Trouble. And he's like, I'm going to, need some voices for it. It's like, are you up for it? And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
So basically like word of mouth, like word of mouth. I want to say like some had to do with social media, some had to, Stage 32, like I said, I believe that's still a free app to get. So if people are looking for things like that, or make your own,
Love that.
like
You
do
know,
your own.
I've never pursued acting. I've never been trained to be an actor at all. And through doing comedy, I've been offered parts. I didn't have to try out for them. It's like, that is so weird because I wasn't even going for it.
That's excellent. Yes, being there, I want to say most of the time, I want to say like 90% is being at the right place at the right time. If you're out in front of a whole bunch of people, it's like they're gonna see you, and then eventually they're going to like not just come to you for comedy, but they're gonna be like, you know what, you'd be perfect role for this, this film, whatever. And it's like, here you go.
Absolutely. I even got offered to go to bed with a guy to get a role. Who does that at 71?
I'll be doing that at 71. So for all you watching this now, about 30 years into the future, look me up.
I turned him down because the Me Too movement's stronger than my urge to get in a movie for that.
Yeah,
I'm with the ladies. No way. So what are some tell me some things about you and stand-up comedy. Can we switch gears? I know.
Yes, we can switch gears. Don't worry, I have ADHD. One time I was going to a cosplay event. Squirrel ran in front of the car, and I was like, "Oh, look, a squirrel! Here, kitty, kitty!" I kid you not. I'm like, and I'm gonna be around kids today. This isn't a good day. I was like, I should just turn around and call it quits. That's okay. Yeah, comedy. Okay, like I said, I do more improv and like more sketch comedy than actual comedy. My best friend Maddie got me into comedy. She's like, "You are so funny." And one night at an open mic, it's like I just got up there, just started rambling. And this was at a bar. I actually had people's attention at a bar. And she's like, "Oh my God." She was doing it for quite some time. I think she was doing it for maybe like 5 years. And she's like, I got up there and she was like, "Dude." That was awesome. And even when we would go to like open mics, and some comedians, like I know quite a few of them, they would tell the same stories all the time, and most of them were like complaining stories, like they weren't even comedy. We're like, and she's like, "Kristine, get up there and make me laugh," because it's like I'm just gonna off myself if I have to listen to one more of these guys up there. But yeah, so I did that, to hang out more, because we would do improv, and then right after there would be like an open mic at one of the local bars and everything. So we would all head over from improv, go to the bar, we would eat, get drinks and all that. Another important thing, support your venues, it's like buy food, buy drinks. It's like that is another lesson. It's like respectful and support. Yes. Two of the most important things that you want to do, because you want to keep that venue going, because I've known quite a few venues that have, even though like their open mic nights would be good, nobody's buying anything,
It's horrible when people walk in and they ask for a free water,
Yes.
I'm like, can I get you something? Like, come on, let's support the bar. Like, you just, like, a drink is, sometimes you can get a drink at a bar for $4, why not?
Yeah, something, anything, even if it's like soda or something, whatever, just buy something to support,
Yes, so nice of them to have that there for us.
Yes, so like I was saying, it's like my friend Maddie got me into it, and then I actually ended up running the improv troupe in Atlantic City. I don't know if we're going to open again. I've been in contact with one of the directors that works for Stockton University there, so it's like I'm hoping this upcoming year, because she wants everyone to actually get, like, who works there, not just to be there for free. She wants to have everyone paid. So it's like they have to go through all sorts of forms and contracts, and I guess see about getting some grants and things like that. Because she's like, it's like, I don't want anybody coming back here like unpaid. So I mean, that's a good thing.
That's so great. Even if it slows down the process, the end result's so much nicer.
Oh yeah. But it's like I miss her so much, because partway through the pandemic, her and her husband, they moved to Colorado. So I'm like, I feel lost.
Yeah.
without my bestie. Like we had like a good 20-year gap in between us, but we acted like we knew each other forever.
How
Like,
cool.
so it's like I'm hoping one day to get to Colorado to see her. I'm not sure if she's still doing stand up or not. Like it might have just went. I know some people that it's topped off. Like I wasn't even sure about doing Zoom or anything. Like it took me a long time to jump on to do Zoom comedy because I was like, nah, it's not for me, you know. But I did it, and here I am today. It's like I'm having fun. I'm meeting people from all over the place and getting to be in really cool shows and interviews like this one.
I
Subscribe
love
to
listening to your
YouTube.
comedy. Your comedy is so good, and you're usually at the end, either the headliner or at the very end of the show. And I can't wait for you to come on because I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something different out of the box about it.
Thank
Now it
you.
makes sense. Now it totally makes sense.
Thank you. It's like a lot of the comedy, it's like I've actually lived through. Like it's not like that, oh, I just wrote something. Oh, that sounds funny. I think I'll perform that. It's like, no. I think for comedians, it's like you need to live life. You need to have a life story. Like I can't do one-liners to save my life. Like I can't. No. I need a story. I need a base. If you want a one-liner, it goes something like this. Okay, I like my sex like my Barbie dolls, decapitated and naked. Okay, that's that was one of the improv prompts in a group that I'm in. I'm like, let's go morbid. Let's all of them laughed, and then they were like, "What's wrong with you?"
That's a
Everything.
great line. Yeah, the other thing is like if you have memory issues, like I do, trying to do one-liners, that means there's a lot more it's just random that you have to memorize. But if it's a story, like most of the time, what I'm doing is taking you chronologically through my life. Like I might be talking about the military, or I might be talking about banking, or you know what I mean? Like, and then it doesn't really need a lot of memorization. It's my life.
Exactly, and I think it flows like more natural. I mean, it's like I've written things like, "Oh, this story would be great with that." Like, let me see if I can link this, or let me see if I can extend this.
Yeah.
I said extend anyway. Like some of my comedy, yes, it's off the wall. Like I said, absolutely no filter.
Oh my gosh. What's something amazing that you learned in comedy that has really helped you? I know you've said some things not to do, but what is it that is a really great thing that you learned along the way and you're like, wow, that was crazy. I'm so glad I learned that.
It's like just be yourself, or even find something that sets you apart from the crowd. Like anybody can get up there and get the mic and tell some jokes or even tell some stories, which there are some great storytellers. But it's like at the same time, it's like try to find something. That's when I like to usually bring out my ukulele.
That makes you set apart. It sure does.
Yes, I love making parody songs and everything, and it's just so much fun. It's like parody songs. I've got a couple ones, that I've done. Like I can't wait to do. Probably at the next mic I'm doing, probably do the song Santa's Balls.
Yes, I saw that on your YouTube. I have to play it today. I think you did it a year ago on your YouTube.
There's that one. There's also an animated one that I did with sketches. But the funny thing is, after I did that and uploaded it, I realized I forgot Santa's beard. And I was like, I guess he got an STD and it fell out. I don't know. Someone asked about that. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. STD. STD. It's like it's going down that way. But yeah, it's like I really want to focus more on bringing the ukulele into shows. Like one of my next upcoming shows is December 14th. It's called Thank Miss, and we actually raise money for the World Central Kitchen. So it helps. All the money goes towards like food to help people out that have nothing. This is my third year doing it. This year I'll be headlining with Maggie Levine, who's one of my actor buddies that were in other shows together, like all the Carnage stuff that's going on. And I plan on doing it. Kim Nash and Ashley North will be hosting. And he asked me last night, he's like, how many minutes do you want for that? He's like, do you want 10 or 15? I'm like, let's go for 15. I was like, I could do 7 with comedy and then like 8 with music.
Yes.
He's like, yes, yeah.
I think it's fabulous when comedians are doing their material, but interspersing in some other talent, whether it's act outs. I mean, I'm sure you have act outs that you do that extend your time. There, I said extend. One for one. No, yeah, like I think that music is such a great. I went to the Comedy Cellar here in Vegas last night and I saw Rick Crom, and he teaches people at the Cellar in New York City, and he's been doing that for like 40 years, taught everybody coming through the Cellar. This guy has such a beautiful voice, and he was doing jokes while playing the piano and singing. It was like Victor Borga on crack. It was so good. It was really good. Yeah, Victor Borga was way back in the 40s and 50s.
I know who he is.
Just for the youngsters out there that don't know. Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard anybody that funny doing music in a long time. He was really good.
I love it. Like I said, it's like that's what I want to focus more. And I even got my friend Aaron Despiva of This Just In News Comedy. I got him to do more stuff with his puppets.
How is Aaron? I know about a year and a half ago I interviewed him and he was going through a physical thing. How is he doing?
He is good. He is doing really, really good. Like, in fact, he's actually, like I said, he's got a show coming up December 19th for This Just In News Comedy Club. And then we have Bay Area Arts, like right after that. That's another show. So he's really good. And then he'll be getting like his show Bombing Run back up and running again. And we have a couple things coming up, like for 2023, we are getting our own Roku network. It will be called Malfunction TV because we usually say it's like, oh no, it's Malfunction Monday. I was like, it's like Wednesday now. Malfunction Monday rolled over through the whole rest of the week. Because one time I did his show, there was like audio issues, things like that, like video issues. And then I was like, oh great, it's like I've got to do my show after this. What happened after that? More malfunction down the line. I'm like, oh come on. But he's doing good. He's awesome. He actually joined our cast for the show Enchance, and then he'll be in Christmas Carnage Resurgence, and then next year when we do the Carnage Bloodlines, he'll be playing a role in that.
Fabulous. Oh my gosh. So then what is it that, like, I'm 71, you're in your 20s, I get it. So what is it like if you were so lucky to live to be age 71 before you croak like I'm gonna? What is it you'd like to accomplish before you get this old and die?
I guess I would probably want to this is hard. I don't know, with comedy, things like that. I guess I would like to either be, maybe a lead in like a Broadway show, or just I don't know, like I want to turn this into like more than just like a hobby. So I guess getting paid and being able to support myself. So I guess like something like that. If not Broadway, the West End, which is in the UK, that's their version of Broadway. So I'm like, I'll go either way. But I guess, yeah, just something like, I know that's something a lot of people are working on. Like we want to get paid to do what we love. And I guess that's where I'm headed. I mean, once I get to 69, though, I'll be taking over 69 jokes. My friend Al Casalia does 69 jokes, and I've given him a couple, and I've already put in that if or whenever he passes, it's like I get to take on the 69 jokes, and we're going to work on getting him over 69 jokes before that happens, and then I'm taking over. So I do have a couple goals.
Yes. So is there a play out there on Broadway now that you would love to have a role in? Or has the play been written yet?
Well, I definitely love an original. Like I said, Kim Nash and I do a lot of writing. In fact, we've taken Carnage Bloodlines over to ourselves. Usually there would be about four of us on the writers, but I was like, we need to get this done. But I'm hoping, like how they always say, it only takes one thing to make it. So I'm hoping it's like maybe one of these shows will make it. I mean, we were nominated for an award last year at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And there's a lot of things like I've got to get over or I've got to get over to London and actually do the shows like live there because people that have done plays there, like there's a musical called I think Six that ended up taking off from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. There's a couple things like that. I think the Goes Wrong show was actually from that as well, or either their play, the play that goes wrong, and then they did like two seasons of it. We're hoping that they'll do a third one, but yeah, things like that. It's like it only takes one to make it. So if I had to choose one, it's not even on Broadway anymore because it only lasted for a very, very short time. And all the music, like I said, all the shows that we've done are like jukebox musicals. So we've picked off like certain music things from shows. And I've kind of settled into the role of Bonnie Parker from Bonnie and Clyde. So it's like I would probably want to do that, like if I had the choice to do that. And if I know the one show Heather's has never made it onto Broadway. They've been off Broadway here, but they've been at the West End for about 6 years now. So like if I had the role to do Veronica Sawyer, I would totally do that.
Oh, so cool. The things that you're hoping to get to do, would you type those to me in a message? Because I have some Broadway producers that are my friends.
Yes.
I'll put it at the top of the post. You bet your booty I will.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So it's like any roles like that. It's I fell in love. We have a pro shoot for the show End Chance because one of the Fringe festivals is only taking like recordings, so we want to get a good one done. We did one, it was like the worst thing imaginable, so we have to reshoot. And we stuck in because usually a pro shot script gets extended, so we added the songs in there, a couple songs from Heather's in there that worked really well. So we've got Bonnie and Clyde, we've got Heather's, I can't remember what else is in there, but it just actually it fit, and it's like I fell in love with the three songs that I got to do. Okay, 2.25 songs I got to do because one of them's like really itsy bitsy short. But it's like I fell in love with those. I was like, I didn't think I could do that. And one of the songs that we had to do, three different takes, over 4 minutes long. First one, someone came in early. We won't mention who that is, Aaron. And it was like one of those scenes, like, you know how there's just so much things that you can do through Zoom, but there was actually one scene that involved that's why we have I guess one of the ratings on there may have sexual nudity in it. And that song we had to do three times. I'm like, I had to keep getting dressed and undressed. I'm like, what scene are we at next? Are we back at the brothel? Because I'm not getting dressed. It's like, this will work. I'm like, we're not doing that. It's so exhausting, but it's so fun.
Oh, that's fabulous. Well, tell people where you're going to be performing in the next few weeks so they can come watch you.
Okay, over the next few weeks, it's like I will be all online, so you can find me. My website is www.KristineKnowlton.com, or if you go to linktree/Kristine.Knowlton, all the links for like Eventbrite and everything will be there. Like I said, December 14th is the Thankmas show, which I'm headliner on, sharing that with Maggie Levine. So it's like I can't wait. It's like you'll see comedy, you'll see music. It'll be fun. There's going to be like sketches that are in that. I don't think I'm in any of those, but it's like there's going to be sketches, music. It's like it's going to be a nice variety, which is great. And we are raising money, like I said, for the World Central Kitchen, you know, to help people in need that don't have any food. And they do this year round too. It's great. So it's like that's what we're raising money for there. And then December 17th, 18th, and 23rd is a Carnage Christmas Resurgence. We have a whole bunch of, they're at different times. Like they're actually early because we base them off of UK time. So if anyone wants to know more, we've actually sold quite a few tickets already on Eventbrite for that, which I'm looking forward. That is what lurks at the Super Spark Cinema. Actually, I'm in one of the I'm in the room next to the projection room for one of our scenes. So it's like, what lurks at the Super Spark Cinema? Tuck into your popcorn and relax, for no one makes it out alive in A Christmas Carnage Resurgence.
Wow.
So it's like, that's going to be fun. It's crazy, it's dark, it's humor, it's music. I mean, we have a character in there called Detective Seaman, so you don't want to miss it, you know. And then and chance we will be doing our pro shot again on December 28th. That will be open to anyone that wants to come hang out, because we need real laughter and everything. If you don't mess up a scene. again. That one's going to be fun. Again, that one's online. That and chance follows the story of Jennifer Schmidt. Find out how little harmless Jennifer Schmidt became Marvin's deranged assistant Chance in this horror comedy, jukebox musical, and sequel to the 2021's The Carnage Returns. It's like, it's amazing. And I have my chainsaw. I have my chainsaw. Because every show needs a chainsaw. That actually started with The Carnage Returns. We've bought it over. So that's the 28th. Also, the 28th improv show for South Sound Improv. That will be our holiday one. So we will have Santa and some elves bringing you some entertainment. I'm going to find out more about that tomorrow. Because that's going to be our long form one. So it'll be like one continuous scene for, I guess we're doing it for like 45, 50 minutes, something like that. So that's going to be fun. That will have like an Eventbrite. I believe it's by donation. Again, it's on Zoom. And then, of course, December 31st, the Villainous Cabaret. All the songs that we've plugged into, all the musicals that we've done so far. It's like, we will have them there. It's like, we have some surprises. We have stuff from Bonnie and Clyde. We have Bat Out of Hell. We have Heathers. What else do we have? I'm not going to reveal everything, and you'll just have to come and watch. It's like, we will be doing that two times a night. I do have some sketches coming up. There's no dates planned for them yet. It's like, we're trying to get some more actors involved. So we have the Nativity that Kim Nash and I reimagined, and it's not fit for human consumption. So if you get offended easily, or a religious person, do not see the show. It's definitely rated R. Let's just say we got about 20 pages in and we forgot one main part of the story. I won't reveal it, but let's just say, don't worry, it happens right before they get to the manger. It's good. We know professionals. Did we go back up in the script and put it in? No. Leave it where it is. And then my friend Aaron Despive is doing It's a Wonderful Life, Jesus. So it's a combination of like Jesus's story and like A Wonderful Life. It's a crazy little thing. I think I'm playing both. I'm playing Mary in the Nativity, and I believe It's a Wonderful Life, Jesus. I'm like, great. It's like, I'm playing that can't end well. And then it's like Kim and I, we have a courtroom skit going on that could be filmed anywhere. That it's just a basic courtroom. It's a husband and wife that take each other to court that are lawyers. They're both defense lawyers and they're suing each other. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. We have one judge and only one juror because we couldn't afford anyone else.
I can't wait to see how that turns out. That's got to be something.
It's going to be fun. So coming back in 2023, my show of Catbox Comedy will return to Twitch. We will be doing some more improv. I'll be doing some games, playing pinball, and just having fun with that. I am a Twitch affiliate, so I get paid to play, as they call it. And then, of course, Malfunction TV is going on the Roku network, and the Carnage Bloodlines. We will be doing a read through on that. January 14th. We're already in January. I was like, oh, we better finish that script. Okay. And that's another piece too. That takes off exactly where Christmas Carnage Resurgence leaves off. So it's like, it's going to be an awesome show. And we did figure out our characters of Marvin and Chance aren't the brightest bulbs in the box. Like, how we actually get caught to go to prison is we show up at our parents' funeral. But we don't have any disguises, but we talk with a southern accent, so no one will recognize us. I'm like,
Always
really? So that should be fun. I think that's about it. And then I know we're going back to, I think we'll be bringing Carnage Bloodlines to the Watford Fringe Festival. We'll be hitting up the Brighton Fringe Festival, Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I think Edinburgh and the other one, Brighton, I believe those will be Enchants. And then because we've looped around and where Enchant started was at Watford, so now we bring in the new story.
Wow. My gosh, you're so busy. And I just appreciate all you shared. And as I said, please give me your link tree and your website in a message with the roles you'd love to play that are on Broadway or off Broadway so that I can make sure some producers see that.
Oh, excellent. Just want to put this out there too. It's like I am union, so it's like I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Super. Yeah. Well, put that in there that you're union so that I have that up there. I'll just cut and paste one message right to the top of the video.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing so much what you've accomplished. And you make it fun to listen to and funny to hear. Thank you. What a natural. No
And
wonder
thank you for
people
having
wanted
me.
you doing comedy. You're just hilarious, just naturally. Who can tell their whole life story and all they've accomplished and have you laughing the whole way through it? And you're laughing. You're not even bored with it, and you've lived it. So fun. Thank you so much, Kristine Knowlton. Appreciate
You're welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.